Hello there, Geminis. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the month of February, and I'm breaking this month down into two sections. So we're going to look at February the 1st through February the 14th to begin with, and then after that we'll look at the remainder of the month in the next section. So, for those of you who are here to cross-watch for a Gemini that you care about, you are welcome to be here. However, I do want you to keep in mind that on this channel, energies are not reversible. So what you're seeing is a reading that is for Gemini and about Gemini. If you would like a reading that is for and about yourself, then you do want to check out the reading that is for your sun sign, moon sign, or rising sign. Okay? So Geminis, let's just put down your cards and see what we have coming up for you during this time frame. Move my selenite out of the way. Alright, so Geminis, first thing that I'm looking at does talk to me about your environment. And your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. It looks to me like there's some kind of relief coming up. There's been some stress about your environment before this time frame, or maybe even at the beginning of this time frame. And whatever that stress is, you're finding some relief from that. So that situation has either been resolved, or maybe you're just in a place where you're realizing that it's not something that you need to stress about. It does look like there's something going on in the environment. Even though you're feeling relief, there's something going on in the environment where there are things that are falling through the cracks. There are things that aren't being taken care of or being given the attention that they need so that they'll maintain in a good way going forward. And I feel like, some of that has to do with emotions and with relationships in your environment. And it looks to me like there's a lot going on where there are people in your environment who are not very happy. If you're the only person that shares your environment, and remember, environment's any place you have energy or effort invested, so it could be home, it could be work, it could be school, etc., etc. But if there's nobody else in your environment that could possibly be unhappy, this may even be you that's just unhappy in your environment. So we've got some things happening. I'm liking this relief, but I feel like with the other things that are going on, I'm feeling like this relief is over an issue that's different from these other issues that we're seeing here. Next thing that we're looking at, Gemini. Next thing that we're looking at is your subconscious leanings. What do we have here? It looks to me like you have a situation where I think somebody owes you something, whether they owe you money or they owe you a favor or whatever. Somebody owes you something, and I think that you're communicating back and forth with this person about the idea of repayment and when they'll be able to repay you and that type of thing. And I think what this person is doing is they're basically telling you, you know what, I'm not able to do that right now, or I'm not able to pay that right now. And I think, honestly, this person is sort of having a pity party for themselves. And, of course, that's not improving their situation at all. And it's not improving your situation either. But I do think that this person who you're thinking about in your subconscious, I think that you are expecting them to ask you for more time whenever it comes to repaying you for something that you've done for them or something that you have given them. Okay, and that's all in your subconscious mind, which means that it may or may not have already happened for you to be thinking about it. And that also means that it may or may not happen in the future. It's just on your mind. All right. Now, next thing that we're looking at here talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style. I do think that you are picking up new information really quickly right now, whether you're researching through somebody's phone or whether you're going to a class However it is that you're finding your information, I think that you're picking it up really quickly. I also feel like emotions are motivating the information that you're looking for, the information that you're finding or researching. So, there is an emotional reason why you are looking at information or looking up information, digging out information. And I think that even with all of these emotions as being the motivation, that almost sounds redundant. Even with all of these emotions as being the motivation as to why you're finding out this information that you're picking up so quickly, I feel like the information that you're picking up, what you're actually finding out, is helping you to get a better grip on the tangible reality going on in your world than what you might have had before you started looking for this information or doing this research. Now, that's kind of always true, isn't it? Like, the truth is what sets us free. So, it is what gives us that good grip on what's happening in reality. So that's what we see there anyway. Communication style, as we look at this, you do have somebody that you're joking around with a lot, Gemini. For some of you, I don't know that joking around applies. For some of you, I think that there's someone who you're sort of messing with their mind, basically. It's kind of a joke to you, but maybe not so much to them. Okay? I do feel like you could be sending out some kind of invitations to some type of event or to do something with somebody during this time frame. And I do feel like you're talking an awful lot about your feelings during this time frame as well, Gemini. I know that has to be kind of uncomfortable for most of you with that air sun sign, even with air for rising, depending what else is in your chart, of course. But let's see, let's take a look next at work. What do we have coming up here? Okay, first of all, I do see that there is somebody at work that you feel betrayed by. This is somebody that you thought had your back, is what I'm hearing, or somebody that you thought of as a friend, and they've done something that has made you feel like they were never really your friend whenever it comes to work. I do think that you have been already thinking about what you could do to make work better for yourself, and now you're focusing on one of those options and giving it all of your attention and all of your energy. I think what's going on here, Gemini, is with this last card, I think that somebody is giving you some unreasonable expectations about what you can actually get accomplished at work. That's one way that this is coming in. And so it may be that, they're telling you, I need this, this, and you're just not able to pull it off. You're not able to do what they're asking for. For some of you, though, I feel like you're actually focusing on not doing the work. You are putting a lot of energy into not working, probably a lot more energy into not working than working for some of you. So we've got that going a couple of different ways. You want to just take it however it applies to you. All right, next thing that we're going to look at talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded as we go through this particular time frame. So what do we have here? It looks to me like somebody is really trying to talk you into I think somebody is really pushing for you to do work at home type of stuff. And I think that you're standing your ground and saying, look, it really doesn't work out for me to work at home for whatever reason, whether there's too many distractions, the dogs bark too loud, you just don't focus when you're at home. I'm not sure what the reason is from looking at these cards, but I think that you're standing your ground and letting somebody know that working from home does not work for me. If you want me to work for you, there has to be an office situation. That's what we've got coming up as your place of where your personality is being expanded. Let's see what else we have here. So the next thing that I'm showing talks to me about something that you stand for. So this is going to be something that somebody has said something to you about. They've either wanted an explanation, or maybe they've even confronted you about this situation. And so you're defending it or explaining it. You're standing up for it. So it looks like there's some kind of long-term tension or debate that you thought had been put to death and was over and done. And we see that coming back up to cause unrest, restlessness, and just general anxiety, I think. Excuse me. It looks like there's something about this situation where you're finding forgiveness around it whenever it shows back up. And I think that you're waiting to say anything about the idea that you actually can forgive the other party. I don't think that you're just spilling the beans on that just yet. Which kind of means to a certain point you're not so much forgiving them. You're kind of telling yourself, well, I will in a while, or yeah, I've forgiven them. But in reality, you're still kind of mad at them because you're not letting them off the hook yet. If you had forgiven them, you wouldn't be keeping them on the hook like this. Let's just be honest, okay, Geminis? How another person sees you after you explain this situation, they see you as somebody who actually has a choice, and they're seeing you as holding back on this, and they feel like you're holding back on this information because this gives you the opportunity to manipulate and exploit the other person. So they're not seeing you in a very good light after you explain this to them. They may be definitely reading between the lines there. All right, so the next thing that we have coming up talks to me about your flex point. And this is the point where you have a lesson or an experience, and this sort of changes your perspective on things. So it changes your trajectory as you go through this time frame. So flex point, what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? There is definitely something going on here where you're not working during this time frame. It looks to me like, yeah, you're not getting the payday in that you were expecting, at least not yet. You probably will later. And I think that you are celebrating the idea that you're not working, even without, I don't know, is that last paycheck? But even without a paycheck, I think you're celebrating the idea that you're not working. There's something going on here where you're actually happy about it. Maybe, you had a terrible job and you're happy to be away from it. I don't exactly know. I haven't seen somebody celebrate not being able to work before in a reading. Okay. Next thing that we have going on at the same time here, it looks to me like you're really hopeful about the idea of getting some type of situation started up again with somebody else who is very logic oriented, very much bottom line, detail oriented. And you want to start something back up with them. This looks like you had something going on with this person in the past. It's kind of hit the back burner, and now you want to bring it back up to the front burner and start really giving some attention to whatever this is. Also happening at the same time. It looks like you are, I want to say that you're creating something and that you're taking it to some type of fair or show or festival to show it to the world. And I think that this is sort of a test run for you. I feel like you're creating something and you're checking to see, okay, is there a market for this out there? Is this something I would be able to sell? Or maybe you're checking to see, can I do this? Can I sell like this? Can I get my product out there? Can I sell me? So yeah, I think that, you're not necessarily planning on ever even doing this even one more time again until you see how it goes during this particular time frame. If it goes well, then I think you're going to consider doing this a lot more in the future. But if it doesn't, I think you're going to head back to the drawing board and look for other ideas about bringing an income in. All right, next thing that we're looking at talks to me about where we see you at the end of this particular time frame, which will kick us off into the next time frame. So at the end of this particular time frame, I am seeing that you're getting some kind of good news about money or about material goods. And I think that it's wonderful that you're getting that. What I'm seeing here is that you're feeling like you could use some more money or material goods right now. And I think that having that good news come in really helps you, because otherwise you start to think back about what happened before when you didn't have enough of whatever this is. And so I think that good news sort of saves you from harping on that or obsessing on the idea that there's not enough. You get to focus on the idea that there's more coming in. And so obviously if you catch yourself sort of drifting off into that place where you feel like, okay, there's not enough, then you want to just remind yourself, you know what, I already know there's more coming in. You want to stay in that positive mindset so that things can work out for you in a more positive way, so you can draw in more positive situations into your life. It's really important to focus on that. All right, so I'm going to sign off of here right now, and when I come back, we'll look at the last half of the month for you, Gemini. Thank you for being here. Welcome back, Geminis. This time we are looking at February the 15th through the 28th. While I was away, I did go ahead and put down cards for this time frame, so let's just jump right in, shall we? So Geminis, when we're looking at your home environment, it looks like there's something going on there that is a little bit fishy. You know that you don't have all the information, but you can't quite put your finger on what is missing when it comes to your environment. Now, there's also something going on, I think legally, for some of you in the environment. You may be renewing a lease or moving or coming up with a mortgage or a refinance or something like that. But there is something going on legal around your environment. This could also be something legal around your work environment, not just your home environment. Environment, remember, is any place you have energy or effort invested. And then we also see you are manifesting those things that you actually want to manifest. You're bringing them to fruition in your environment. So really, there's some change or maybe some renewal and manifesting really some good things, even though we've got something going on that you're not quite understanding about the environment just yet. Usually that's just a matter of time before the truth comes out, right? Now we're looking next at your subconscious leanings. Looks to me like there's some type of relationship situation where you have somebody who likes to be in charge. They like to run the show, and I feel like this person is somebody that, you had sort of separated yourself from. You had gotten some distance from them, and I think that they are showing back up and trying to, maneuver their way back into your life in a more full capacity than what you've had them lately. And it looks to me like your plan is to stay isolated from them, to keep away from them, to take some time for yourself to really focus on what it is that you want, what it is that you need. And so that's all on your subconscious is, how am I going to deal with this situation if this person does try to come back? How do I make sure I still get to do my own thing even if this person comes back? How do I make sure I'm not weak and just give in to whatever is their particular request for me? All right, so that's subconscious. Next we're looking at learning style, and then we'll look at communication style. I do feel like during this particular time frame you're learning a lot from other people. And I think that for some of you, you may actually have some type of mentor. Whether that person realizes they're your mentor or not might be a different story for some of you. But for a lot of you, you do have a mentor. From some of you, or for some of you, you just have a friend who's really showing you the ropes about something, helping you to understand something. I think you're also learning about, you're digging in, finding information about making yourself more secure, more stable, whether that's financially or whether that's emotionally, is going to be different for different ones of you. But looking at, getting a grip on stability. Yep. All right. And of course, we see that you are sharp as a tack. It's easy for you to pick up new information, and I think you are. I think you're really coming into a place where maybe there was a little bit of rose-colored glasses before about particular situations in your life, and you're coming into a place where the rose-colored glasses are coming off and you're looking more through the clear lens at a situation in your life, at least one, maybe more. All right, looking at communication style, I do think that you have a lot of communication that has to do with emotions, and really beautiful emotions that you're expressing to other people. I do feel like there's also a situation, though, that comes up that really communication could get really loud and possibly explosive. Okay. And then, what else do we have? I do feel like part of your communications, Gemini, is actually praying to God, Source, Spirit, Universe, whatever label you put on that entity that is way bigger than us. I do think that some of your communication is with the divine during this time frame. All right, so we've knocked that out. Let's look next at work for you all. Work for Geminis during this time frame. I feel like there's a lot of confusion going around work. You do have somebody that is basically stirring up this confusion or planting the seeds of this confusion. I feel like they're intentionally doing this too. I don't feel like this is you, but I do think there's somebody who is intentionally planting seeds of confusion at work. And they're being very successful in their confusion during the first part of this time frame, the first 2/3 even. But once we get into the last third of this time frame, so the last 4 or 5 days at least, I think that people are starting to get really focused. I think that just about everybody is realizing where the misinformation is coming from. And I'm hearing the word shunned. So I think whoever it is that's stirring up all this misinformation is actually getting shunned by other people in the workplace. They just really don't want anything to do with them anymore because they caused so much confusion. They don't want to be a part of anything that might happen like that again. They don't even want to be associated with this person. Next thing that we have coming up does talk to me about that part of your personality, which is being grown or expanded as we go through this time frame. There is some kind of destruction that is happening. Normally I would read this as a fight. This is a 5 of Swords, but to me it's coming up more as destruction. There's some kind of destructive force that is happening during this time frame, and I think it is costing you money to be able to set things back right again, to correct whatever was destroyed, to be able to fix it. And I feel like after somebody comes into your sphere of influence and is this destructive, and it costs you money and energy and effort to go in and fix whatever this person has messed up, I see you here really cutting this person off from whatever it was that you were being generous with them about. So, for example, if you were letting this person stay in your house and, I don't know, they put something in the microwave that had metal trim on it, maybe a plate or a cup or something, and they walked away and let that arc until your microwave was ruined. Or, maybe it's somebody with a temper that, maybe they broke out the window because they forgot their key to get into the house or something. But there's something, there's something that destructive is happening that's costing you. It's costing you money to fix it. So, in this case, if this was somebody who is living with you, then I think you're going to be saying, you know what, you just can't stay with me anymore. Now, that doesn't have to be the case. It's just an example of the types of things that come straight to my mind when I see this. But basically, you've got somebody in your sphere of influence who's being destructive. It's costing you money, and you're telling them, you know what, no more. I just can't afford to have you around, basically. All right, let's look next. I know that seems harsh, but Wait until it happens and then see if it seems harsh. Okay, so next thing that we want to look at is something that you're standing for. So this is something that somebody really, they approach you about this. They bring this up. They either want you to explain it or they even confront you about it. So you may be really defending this situation, or you may just be explaining it, but it's something that you're standing up for. So you've got a situation going on with somebody in your sphere of influence where things are really going well between the two of you as far as your relationship, whether this is a friend, whether this is a lover, whether this is a family member, doesn't really, this is not really indicated in this tiny little 3 cards that I've got down here. But you do have a person who they have plenty of resources, they have plenty of talents, they have plenty of abilities, and things are going really well for you and this person. And even I think a lot of what's going well is ideas that you guys are sharing back and forth. Maybe you have an idea for a project that you can collaborate on, or something that you're working on together. But the sharing of ideas, the going back and forth of ideas between you and this other person who has the resources, things are going really well here. And so somebody's confronting you about this. They're asking you about it, asking you to explain it. And once you've had the discussion about this situation, this other person sees you as somebody who is going back into some type of situation that used to hold you back or drag you down. And so they're a little concerned. They do see you as sort of taking a break from life. Taking a break from using good common sense really is what I've got coming in here. And they see you as standing your ground, which is kind of an odd combination to have, because they see you as going back into something negative and standing your ground. If you're taking a break as you go back into something negative, then you may be going into a relationship where in the past it has been negative. Maybe in the past it's been out and out toxic. And as you go back in, I think that whatever it is you're collaborating with this person on, I think that your other person sees you as going back and still collaborating with this person, but holding some boundaries, not letting it get to the same situation it was before, but just taking advantage of the benefits of the situation without tying yourself to the negative influences here. Okay, that's how they see you. All right, so next thing that we're looking at, Geminis, talks to me about your flex point. This is where things start to change. You have a lesson or experience that changes your perspective, which changes the trajectory of your life in some way. So what do we have going on here? It looks to me like you are taking some kind of action during this flex time, and I think that this is action that helps you move forward in a material sort of way, and it's also, I feel like it's inspired action. This is action that makes you feel really great. It's not just something that you're just doing because it adds to your asset list or to your bank account. Although it does do that, I think this is also something that just makes you really fired up. And part of the action that you're taking is to walk away from something that had a negative influence on you before. And walking away from whatever that is helps your balance sheet, and it also helps you feel more fulfilled emotionally as well. Nice bennies right there. Okay, next thing that we're looking at is something else that's going on during this time frame. There's a lot of toxicity that's really stressing you out here. And with this stress, I think this is actually where you are walking away from something. And I think that it's because you're realizing, this just isn't working out. All right, so the next thing that's happening during this time frame is you do have a lot on your plate. You've got a lot to handle, and you're handling it gracefully. Although other people may not realize that you're feeling hectic as you handle it. To them, it looks graceful, You may be feeling like you're just jumping from one thing to the next thing as fast as you can to get it all covered, but you're going to be really busy. The thing is that there's something going on where you are expressing your unhappiness with somebody in your life. So this is, I'm guessing that this is the person or the situation that you're walking away from, that you're expressing your unhappiness towards. And I think that your family is really coming through as a support network, your family or possibly your tribe. But I have to say, my first impression here is that family is coming through as really supportive as you make these changes in your life. Really happy to see that. It's nice to have support as you're going through transitions. So, next thing that we're looking at talks to me about where you are once we get to the end of this month. I think that you're actually feeling pretty good. You've got some ideas about things that you're getting ready to do, that you want to do. In fact, you've got multiple ideas, and so I think you've got a choice about what you want to get started. Now, at the same time, there is something that you're trying to finish up, tie up all the loose ends. I think this is being a little resistant to that. It's not letting you tie up just all the loose ends just yet, but you are getting there. And you will be able to do that, even if you have to finish that up after you've started your new thing. You may have to circle back and give that a little bit more attention later. Okay? Thank you very much for being here, guys. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the thumbs ups and for sharing this video and for getting private readings and private Reiki sessions and participating in the super chats. It is because of all of you guys' support that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living. So seriously, thank you very much. Everyone have a fantastic month. And if I don't see you here for a private, well, then I'll see you back on the next reading. Peace out.